Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Garage of Chaos. A while ago I posted a video about an alleged throttle fix that was floating around for this jerky throttle issue for the VOGE DS800X Rally, and do you know what? It worked, but as it turns out, and unfortunately it was only a temporary fix. Every time we turned the bike off, the system reset itself and it went back to normal. However, I've recently seen floating around some of the forums another potential fix for this throttle issue. I've seen people having remaps which cost £200 to £300, and even though they've had the remap done, they still say it hasn't solved their problem. I've seen these little like ECU boxes come out, which, you know, again, are very expensive, 200, 300, 400 quid, which apparently, you know, can solve the problem and things like that. But as you know, I'm a budget kit and I'm always looking for some kind of deal or some kind of workaround or just some kind of budget option. Now, something I've seen floating around on the forums recently, there's a few people that have done it now, and they've all said this has worked, it's worked, and it's dramatically improved the way that the bike fuels at those lower revs, and it's completely cut out that fueling issue where the bike jerks around. What is that, I hear you ask? Well, it certainly hasn't cost me 200, 300 quid, that's for sure. It's cost me the grand total of £28, 28, including postage, from our good old friend Temu. And what it is a link pipe and a new exhaust. Ah yes, for the sake of 28 quid, I've got myself a new shiny 10 carbon fibre exhaust and a link pipe. Now this one has got a baffle in, so hopefully it shouldn't be too loud, but as we know with Temu specials, they're always straight through, aren't they? You know, it's one of those things, it's going to be worth a try. My only concern is how loud this thing's going to be. As you know, I love the standard sound of the exhaust on this bike. I love it. I said I wasn't going to change the exhaust. What my plan is then, I'm going to get this on the bike, I'm going to take it for a test ride, and I'm going to see if it truly makes a difference. But for the sake of £28, it's worth a go. It's 100% worth a go. Let's get it on then, and let's see what happens. That weighs an absolute ton. Flipping heck. Maybe 5, 6 kilo. Big. What do we reckon then? Oh yes. Certainly looks the part, but the only problem I've got is that I now don't have a heat shield. And knowing my luck, I'll end up melting either my bags or the heel of my boot. So I might have a look at getting a Jubilee clip on here or something and see if I can get that heat shield back on there. But more importantly, I need to get her fired up and see how she sounds. Out on the ride out now, and I don't know if you can hear it, but it sounds absolutely wonderful. It's actually not as loud as the original exhaust, which is surprising. However, this is nice. Got a nice little deep burble to it. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to find out whether this £28 modification has actually worked, and whether it's actually solved this jerky throttle issue. I've only done about 2 miles so far, and obviously I need to give the bike time to settle in. I need to give all its sensors and things like that time to adjust to whatever difference it's made, whether that be freer flowing air, which means that the bike needs to put more fuel into the system, or whatever it's done. But I need to give the bike that little bit of time for the ECU to catch up and decide what it's doing. Now, I don't know whether that's, 5 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles, I've got no idea. So we're just going to get out, we're going to have a blast, head towards a little cafe, and then we'll decide whether it's done the job or not. So yeah, I'm hopeful, I'm really hopeful, because it looks good and it sounds good. So let's see. Back in the garage of chaos then, and now I've got to decide whether this new exhaust, this £28 Temu special, has actually made a difference or not to the jerky throttle on the VOGE DS800X Rally. What do I think then? In third, fourth, fifth and sixth gear, I felt that it had definitely made a difference. The bike was definitely less jerky than it was before. It didn't seem to be sort of coming on off the throttle and throwing you around as much as it used to. However, in first and second gear, I didn't think that it made a blind bit of difference whatsoever. Well, at least I don't feel like it did for me. I have only done 36 miles though. I don't know how long the ECU would take to sort of adjust to it. I don't know whether you've got to do like 100 miles or 50 or 60 or what, I don't know. So I don't know if I've given it enough time. But like I said, first and second, no real difference. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, yeah, there was a difference. Question is now though, do I leave it on or not? So if I leave it on, I've got to find myself a exhaust gasket for it, because at the minute it's leaking out of all the links and that, because there's a little bit of movement there. It's not clamped down as tight as I would like rather. Is it an Oscar winning, performance? Oh, I don't know. I think it was marginally better than the throttle trick that we did last time, where we held the throttle on, we rolled it off, we held it on, we rolled it off. I think the gains were better than that. It definitely smoothed it out more than that did. However, the difference between the throttle trick and this is that this is a permanent fix, unlike the throttle. So yeah, I think, do you know what? I think I'll leave it on. I've got ABR coming up next week, and that's the 70 odd mile ride down there, plus bashing around the track all weekend, and then obviously the 70 mile ride back. So I think I'll leave it on for ABR, and then I will see how I feel there. I'll get my friends to ride it, see what they think. I'll get some other VOGE owners to ride it as well and see what they think. And then we've got a sort of more general consensus as to whether this has actually made a difference or not. But yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. I think it has. But I don't think it's a massive notable difference. Thank you ever so much for watching. Remember to like, share and comment. It really helps my channel grow, as well as subscribing, which is totally free, and it will help me to help others in the future. If you've got any ideas, please comment below and let me know what we should do next to try and solve this jerky throttle problem. Unfortunately, I just think it's a thing of Euro 5 bikes. Majority of Euro 5 bikes I've ever rode have this kind of fueling jerky throttle issue, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, I just think it's something we may have to live with. But if you've got any ideas that don't involve remapping and paying hundreds of pounds, let me know, because I'll give them a go. I'm more than happy to give them a go. But yeah, until next time, folks. See you later. Take care. Bye.